I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. Just give it some time. It will turn around. It will. Ten toes on the ground is what it takes to turn your life around. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. One time, for all the hustlers from the east to the west side. Putting in work, hitting overtime. Keeping things straight when they out of line. Now go and pat yourself. Not everyone reaches for the higher self. Trust me, just trust yourself. There's no greater enemy than when you doubt yourself. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day.
Hello. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Right, it's good.
I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. Just give it some time. It will turn around. It will. Ten toes on the
Hello,
ground
everyone,
is
and
what
welcome to
it
today's
takes
podcast.
to
I'm
turn
so
your
excited.
life
So excited. I want to make sure that
I may
everybody
not
can
be
hear me
rich, but
okay.
my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be
Yay.
rich, but my rent's paid. A dollar in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. One time, for all the hustlers from the east to the west side. Putting in work, hitting overtime. Keeping things straight when they out of line. Now go and pat yourself. Not everyone reaches for the higher self. Trust me, just trust yourself. There's no greater enemy than when you doubt yourself.
Just
I
wanted
may
to
not
make sure everyone could hear me, and I want to go ahead and get it popping with our topic today. I can't express enough how excited I am to basically bring you this topic. Um, First of all, I'm Dina Marie, and we're excited that you guys are here. And again, I can't wait to get our topic started. As you may or may not have known, once you were keeping up with this, if hopefully you liked and subscribed and you were able to get notification that about today. And so today we're talking about your head in the way of your heart. Now, for many of us, yes, it could sound like we're talking about love, and who's to say that we're not? We could be talking about a little bit of everything, but the main thing that I want to stress for everyone is to make sure that you participate, because basically when you participate, we make everything un- we heal. You heal me, I heal you, we heal each other. And that's what this is about. My stream is brought to you straight from my heart. And I want to encourage you to there. Thank you. Technology. What we gonna do? Moving slow on one. Anyway, moving on about our topic today. Today, um, it is so amazing that when we talk about our heart, our head over our heart, and trying to what screws us and things of that nature. Let me tell you what I mean. Um, somebody said, "Is this a real house or your screen?" Well, it's my real house and it's the screen. Hey, but anywho, moving on. What I'm getting at is that a lot of times in life we go through so many things in our head is in it way too much. And then you'll have people that say that their head isn't in it when in fact it is. So, one of the things that I want to kind of bring to the forefront here today is that the information that we need to use to guide us through things, not only in relationships, love and romantic relationships, but relationships with people, co-workers, so on and so forth. And I remember years ago as a young girl, I was always I still am like that. I smile a lot. And I people will walk up to me and they're like, "Why are you smiling so much? What's there to smile about?" And I'm wondering what there wasn't to smile about. Like, why were they unable to smile? And it was very, very sad to me that someone could say to me that they didn't have a reason to smile. I mean, I just did not get that. So basically, what I am wanting to kind of bring out to here is what you use to regulate you. Is it your heart or is it your head? And then I'm gonna break it down for you and let you know what we should use. So um, let's just talk about a little bit of the issues that we go through in life every day. And I'm gonna start on a relationship level because I think it's easiest to understand from a relationship's perspective, like romantic relationship. If you have feelings for someone and you are trying to make this person realize that you love them, that you care about them, that you want to spend time with them, whatever the scenario is, it's important that you be able to express those things and not only be able to express them, but that they listen to you so that they can decide if they're on the same page or not. I know a lot of times we go through things and you could be married. And I've seen and heard about a lot of marriages where people are just staying there for their kids or maybe they have that conversation like, oh my god, what are people going to think if we leave each other or whatever. And I will tell you that All of us have a responsibility to ourselves. And when I talk about being selfish, what I'm saying is that you have to put yourself first. And when you put yourself first, you're able to tell whether or not you feel good or you feel bad. Okay? If you're going to the store and you have this vibe that something ain't right, that's not a good feeling. Don't go. I mean, it's as easy as that. Like one, two, three, it's as easy as that. We're not listening to ourselves. And so sometimes through life, we go through things that where we could have listened from the beginning and then not have gone through what we're going through. So when I talk about being in relationships, I want to know what you think about me, how you feel about me. I don't want to wait, and I don't want, I know men are very visual. And so, one of the things that I always get complimented on, and I thank you, are my lips. Okay, great. But I feel also, if as a man, when you're coming to a woman and with some authenticity, say something different. I mean, I'm thinking 9 times out of 10, and I'm not being arrogant, you probably already know that somebody else has something said something about my lips. But I'm not a man, and I don't know how men think, or well, when I don't know what their perception is of certain things and how they perceive things. Like if they're saying, well, shoot, I don't care what nobody else says, or I don't care that. I feel that she's pretty or whatever. It's imperative that when you communicate with this female, that you're communicating with her on a level that is sincere from you, and is not something that sounds like something you think you hear over and over again. That's like people sending pictures in the DM. I don't do those. I mean, if you're somebody I like and I send you something that I think might be a little surprise or a treat or whatever, that's because we're talking like that. And you know, I don't anticipate on seeing it out on the internet somewhere else. But at the same time, I'm not ashamed of anything. If somebody were to repost something of mine, I wouldn't like them anymore. I wouldn't talk to them anymore. I wouldn't have nothing to do with them anymore. But at the same time, I like to bring my information to you before somebody else does. And I'm never going to hide from it. It is what it is. I did what I did. But when we talk about our head over our heart, if let's talk about something basic like a job. You say you want this job. My gut feeling and true feeling about everything, like I was saying, somebody's like, you smile too much. And I'm thinking to myself, what in the world? Like, I thought that somebody was selfish for saying that. But my gut feeling is this, is that when you put your heart and your soul and your feelings and your emotions into things, feelings are what regulate your manifestations. Now, some people can think of it differently, say whatever, do whatever, whatever, and whatnot. But it's important for you to understand, how do I feel? How would me having this new job make me feel? Would it make me feel positive? Would it make me feel negative? And that's the reason why I say, is it your head or your heart that's ruling you? Because if your head is ruling you, people that we hear a lot of people talking about manifesting and making sure this and energies and great vibes, your words don't teach. They don't. It's your feelings. Your feelings are what teach, what guide you, what strengthen you, what motivate you, what takes you to a place that allows you to have the um the I guess the emotional side of that particular accomplishment, of how it feels. Like, for instance, when you go roller skating, when you're skating, are you in your head or are you in the feeling of it? Are you feeling the rolling? Are you skateboarding? Whatever you're doing, do you feel it? When you sing, do you feel it or do you talk to yourself and say, you can sing, you can sing, you can sing. No matter what you say in your head, it's not going to change if you can't sing or if you're not singing or if you're not feeling it. People are very self-aware nowadays, and they can see when someone is emotionally um, or being transparent or not. And so let's just break this down for a little bit. Okay, let's say, for instance, you um, basically are invited out to dinner by some friends. Excuse me, and you pretty much are the laid back one, so you don't really care where y'all go to eat. But over here, you got three friends arguing about where they want to be, where they want to go eat. At the point of them beginning to argue, you have the ability to stand there, listen to it, and argue with them, or remove yourself. And removing yourself is going to be the best way for you to connect with a part of you that's going to allow you to manifest positive things that you want. And the reason that I say that is because when we talk about manifesting positive things that you want, your head is speaking to you in ways that lead you by fear, whereas your heart speaks to you in ways that lead you by the emotion and how you feel and what energy you're bringing to yourself, to the table. And that's where we talk about being more focused on you and making sure you're happy and you're doing the things that make you feel good about who you are. And if you do the things that make you feel good about who you are, then 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is you're going to succeed in this, in your manifesting of what you want. And I say that because if you say that you are doing something because you believe in it, and if I say 100 times I'm going to get $1,000 in the lottery, that doesn't make it so. It doesn't make it so. If you go back in life and in history and you kind of analyze, when you've been most successful, y- you have to be honest with yourself and say, have I been most successful based on what I'm feeling in an emotional sense? Or have I been more successful based on what I'm telling myself? And, like they always say, talk is cheap. And that's one of the reasons. If you're not emotionally tying yourself to something so important to you as a relationship or as a job or winning or anything that you want, anything you want. And I don't even want to limit you by listing things that you want. But for instance, if we're talking about relationships, I feel relationships can be a little bit different in that people are given their own ability to make up their mind. So you can't make someone love you. You can't make someone like you. You can't make someone want you to be on their team on a job. The only way that you can make sure that you're going to get the success out of a relationship from people is for you to be happy about yourself and for you to actually realize that whatever it is that makes you happy, that you strive for that. And I see people coming on and going off or whatever, and like when I see my numbers going up and going down, does it bother me? Well, I'm not going to say it bothers me or it doesn't bother me. What I can say is I know that I'm going to be successful. And I know that one day there'll be people jumping on the bandwagon. And I'm just the type of person that I'm a very loving, kind person anyway. And very giving, and I don't do what people do to me. My mom always said, do unto others. And so as you would have them do to you. So not that I'm looking at it like, if shoot, whatever they do to me in a negative way, I'm talking about that was meant for positiveness, for lovingness, for kindness. And so that's how I've always looked at it. I smile. I continue to smile. Some people even have said, you smile even though when you're going through something. I would have never known you were going through something. And I feel blessed about that because I feel that's something that I've been given, and that's something that I'm able to use to help myself to be available to other people. And I know I compartmentalize. I've talked about that before, but I don't. I use my heart a lot, but I've also used my head a lot in the past. And one of the best things about what I can say I achieved in 2022 was learning how to love myself more and also how not to allow other people to bother me. And so I know we've talked about the to take the path of least resistance, or you could say take the path of most resistance, whichever way you look at it. But the best way, the downhill way, the successful way is to take the path of least resistance. If you're taking the path of least resistance, like I said, the three friends that want you to go out to dinner, they're standing over there arguing about what they're going to do. The best way for you to take the path of least resistance is to be like deuces. I'm out. I'll see y'all next time. Let me know next time and we can work it out. Because what's happening is every day that you wake up, you have an opportunity to restart your day. And if you are a person, and you got to be honest with yourself, because I'm honest with myself, and it's not easy all the time, but at the same time, it's not for me, it's not about me trying to convince someone else to believe me. It's me knowing how I feel, knowing what I want out of life, and believing that it's coming to me based on the feeling that I have, the heartfelt feelings that I have. And so if I wake up in the morning, well, yesterday maybe I had the worst day. Maybe it was like horrible and I just couldn't get out of this, space that I was in. And I was just annoyed because I was trying my hardest to be positive, to be happy, to be motivated by things that I felt were coming that I want to manifest in my life. If I wake up the next day and um, I have a positive day, then that's my opportunity to start over. And a lot of times what happens is, we when we wake up in the morning, we it's a reset day. And the reason why people say that, like, I never understood why people said that, but now I get it, that when you go to sleep at night, it resets everything from the day before. When you wake up in the morning, you have an opportunity for a new day. Now, if you wake up in the morning and you're complaining about everything, you bitching and moaning about everything, then that's setting the tone for your day. And I mean, these are things that people have said all the time, but now it's time for us to pay attention to these things, because these are the things that are helping us to manifest things. Our head over our heart. Our head is going to keep us in that argument or in that constant frustration mode where we're trying to, prove something in a way like, no matter what, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to win. I'm going to this. I'm going to that. Again, words don't teach. They don't. It's the emotional feelings that you have that are tied to an emotional feeling of what it would feel like to be in that position. So, for instance, BMW, brand new BMW. How does it feel to have this brand new BMW? I feel secure in it because I know that it was built to last and it's going to protect me. I'm not going to say, oh, but it might wreck. If I say, oh, but it might wreck, then that's taking me back into a negative. The objective of me being able to bring my emotions and feelings into something that I manifest is to stay on a positive note at all times. At all times. Are we imperfect? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. The problem is that you have to be the person that continue to make sure that you are doing what it takes to be on that positive note on the emotional side of things. If your head is regulating what you're doing, then it's constantly keeping you where you're at. And some people can say, I mean, only you know if you're living on the right side of the law, or only you know if you're doing things the right way. We don't have to tell you. Maybe you've been doing it wrong for so long that you think it's right, or maybe you've been, having certain things happen to you for so long that you think that that's the way. But the thing is that if you think that you being in a negative place is happy, then that's why you're there, because you're in your head, you're not in your heart. And the best way to fix that is, as I mentioned, you reset every morning. And every morning when you wake up, I mean, again, I told you my thing is to meditate. So whether you meditate, whether somebody else meditates, whatever the scenario is, the bottom line is that you have to get to a place that allows you to manifest the things that you are going to use to make you feel more positive and successful in affirming the things that you want. I will say that a lot of times that, I feel it's very hurtful. Sometimes the people that you love the most, that you hope are basically supporting you, they're not. Um, I don't use that to continue to support them, because I'm gonna support them based on how I feel and what I feel is good. But I feel like a lot of people do things in a way that make them be um keep them in the same rut that they're in. And know, with any relationship, as Ikram said, it's different if we think with our hearts more. And I'm not sure what he means by that, but what I mean when I say thinking with your heart, I'm not even saying think with your heart. What I'm saying is your heart is what motivates you to do certain things, and everything that is, love conquers everything. And I don't address the opinion of others. I have a self-claimer that my opinion is not other people's opinion, but love conquers everything. And that's the first thing. However, a lot of times when I go into my day and I start um, speaking positively about, my least path of least resistance, I go through the alphabet, and I explain to myself how I feel about what it is that I'm hoping to manifest. And, for instance, hey, I feel amazing, or I feel beautiful, or I feel confident. I feel confident because I know that once I do this, then I can do this. And so, whatever it takes for you to be that person for yourself, these are the things that you have to bring into fruition for you. And a lot of times, I think I've watched, well, let me put things in perspective. I've looked at a lot of shows that show me how things can be in different people's lifestyles. And I've been freaking amazed because I feel like I've been sheltered, maybe. I'm an adult. Yes, I can go out and do whatever I want. But just for example, just because I share a race with someone doesn't mean that I share that lifestyle or that I've been through the things that they've been through, and vice versa for anyone else. However, what my point to that is that it does help me to understand what is going on in these streets, because I never understood why things kind of like blossomed the way that they did. And I'm being very generic because it's not something I want to talk about because it's not positive. But what I can say is anything that you can imagine happening out in the world that's not positive, those things happen. And when those things happen, I look at why they're happening. And one particular show that I was watching, it was like the young lady that was on the show, they kept having bad things happen to them. They got shot at the light. She was trying to get married, and everything that was happening kind of kept happening up to her wedding. And her wedding was at the end of this month, say for instance. But her fiance had some back charges from years ago, like 10 years ago, that had come up. And they were here in the state of California, and there was no period in which that they would go away. I can't think of the word I'm trying to use. Anyway, it, the charges were not going to expire. They were going to be something that this person was going to have to deal with. But somehow, um, every week, all the way up until their wedding, things kept happening bad. And the reason was because after every moment, after everything that she spoke about, she was like, "Why does this keep happening to me? I just feel like I can't catch a break." I hate my life. These things are so unfair. Why are these things happening to me? And so, had she went into a different, spiel, you know, and maybe sometimes you find yourself taking a whole bunch of naps during the day. You might not understand why are you so tired, but maybe that's a way for you to reset and you don't know it, but you've zapped all your energy from the negativism that now you're taking a nap because you need to reset each time. So point being is that every time she said that, something else happened, something else happened, and something else happened. And so that's why we have to change the trajectory of what we're doing. If you continue to call those things to you, they're going to continue to come to you. It's like when people say, um, the they're saying like, I didn't call for you or whatever, whatnot. That little smart aleck thing people say when they trying to argue with somebody. But it's legit when you're doing it to yourself. You're calling it to yourself. So, what are some of the ways that you think you could stop calling those things to you? How do you think you could alleviate those things? Um, as I mentioned, I find myself as a positive person. Do I encounter negative things? Of course. But I've been around people before, and it's like everything that comes out of their mouth is negative. And for me, that's not a place that I want to be. It's not the path of least resistance, if you will. It's the path of the path of most of most most resistance, I guess you could say, because if even if, let's say for instance, like I had to stop myself from doing this. You had a scenario and the scenario did not turn out the way you wanted it to, and you call your best friend, your sister, your brother, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your friend, and the first thing you do is you got to find somebody to talk about it with. And so when you find that person to talk about it with, what you don't realize is you're still bringing it to you. I heard it this way: there's two ends of a stick, the side you don't want and the side you do want. And there's only those two ends in life, period. Either you're going to buy a dress because you like the color, or you're not going to buy the dress because you don't like the color. You got the good end of the stick and the bad end of the stick. Which end of the stick are you on? If you find yourself at the bad end of the stick and you need to redirect, the main thing for you to do is to focus on the things that are happy for you, the things that make you feel happy. It might not be anything to do with the item, person, situation you're thinking of, but the purpose is to get back into that happy place so that when you're in that happy place, you're able to use that momentum to forge you through in getting to what you really do want. And I heard something this week and it was really profound because it was like, if you meet discord in your life, discord meaning things that are constantly cropping up and making things make you feel like things are going a different direction or a wrong direction or a negative direction. They're not doing the way that you want them to. Then I said this before, you have to break it down and you have to understand what it is that's making you feel that way. And one of the things that came to mind was things from my childhood. I know that many people have heard about how you have to go and love the inner person and the inner child and make that person be the one that, you are actually loving to the point of you being able to get back on an even keel and be back in a place where you can basically be in a positive space. And so if you are doing that and you're bringing yourself to this positive space, then you have to keep track of it's like anything else. When you start something new, a new job, you bake a cake for the first time and you want to take some ingredients out, or maybe you leave all of them in and then take things out and add something of your own. The next time, whatever the scenario is, the bottom line is that you're going to go through a point where there's a weakness or where there's a um, downfall, or a place in which it's not going to work the way that you want it to work. So whatever the situation is, and however it is that you have to go through that, then you have to take notes. You have to, if you're a person that writes stuff down, write it down. um a lot of things that we go through are self-inflicted. They really are. And until you as an individual want to face what it is that you have to deal with your demons, so to speak, you're not going to get where you need to go. But for the most part, I think that when we talk about the things that we want out of life, are you looking at it from a perspective of how you want to succeed in the way that you will succeed? Meaning, you know what is your plan? How are you going to make these things happen? Are you staying in your head too much, or are you in your heart at all? What fears do you have about feeling? You don't have to these aren't the type of feelings that you put out on a firing squad for someone to walk on or take advantage of. These are things that you're telling yourself throughout a course of a day, that you're feeling, I want this new job. And for me to have this new job, I would feel secure. I would feel happy. I would feel happy because I know that each day I'm going to work and I'm actually living my dream, and I'm doing the things that I need to do to make me feel that I've succeeded in what it is that I'm trying to do. I feel secure because it's going to provide me with the benefits that I need, medically. It's going to provide me with the financial stability that I need. So when you're talking about these feelings, these are the feelings and that you're using to describe how things are making you feel when it comes to um, how when you're in that position. And once you're in that position, you're describing yourself as if you're already there. You're not leaving it to guess, just chance or what have you. You're describing things in the way that allow you to understand how you'll feel when you're in that scenario. And I know that some people, they might they it's hard to, for like, even when I put comments or share the comments, I try to stick to the positive comments, because there are even words in the sentence that are negative that actually change the trajectory of what their positive statement may or may not have been. And so, even if you feel that something that you're doing can possibly go wrong, you don't want to bring that to the forefront, because keep in mind that you're trying to take the path of least resistance for yourself. And that path of least resistance, folks, is you deciding how this particular goal would make you feel. And if you use your heart to bring in what the feelings would be, that's going to help you work towards that momentum and get you to a place that will allow you to achieve it. So, just for an example, you know, if you decide that you are going to make sure that no matter what, you're focusing on your children. The unfortunate part is, yes, not unfortunate meaning that you're the parent. The unfortunate part is that you still have someone that depends on you, so you can't 110% maybe focus on yourself. But I think that you can focus on yourself. I think it's important for you to focus on yourself and for you to look at what's important for you to make sure that these things work out for you. I'm going to put this comment on the screen. This is Ikram. And Ikram is basically saying that um, he thinks, I think it's a habit that we all need to get out of asking, where am I today? Or how am I going to feel? Or what do I need to do? And imagine it. So, for example, on a scale of like 1 to 5. Okay. Um, I guess in his point, he's saying, you always have to do what's best for you. And I'm not saying that you don't do what's best for you. What I am saying is that yes, you have to do what's best for you, but you have to describe what you're wanting in a way that makes you feel good. You have to use adjectives and words and expressions that help you feel good. Feel. Feeling is paramount. It's not so much you're not going to just sit there and decipher the issue and break it into all these little pieces and say, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do that? No, you have to describe what it is about what you want that would make you feel the way you want to feel in positive adjectives. And if you don't do it, you can't do it, it's because you're not ready to do it. And so then you have to break yourself down in a sense of saying, okay, what's it going to take for me to get from point A to point B? How am I going to get here or how am I going to get there? What am I going to do to make myself feel better? You know, um, I think here's another point that Ikram made. He's saying that if people have a lot of choices, um, they need to practice certain things that they take on their own before they actually say that this is something that they should do. But I want to emphasize, Ikram, and I love your comments, by the way, and I appreciate when you're participating because it lets me know that this is coming from your heart. However, when I am sharing with you the things that I'm sharing with you, I am saying to you that we're not looking to find the answers for someone else. We're talking for you specifically. Um, lines into with that you're getting to a place that's allowing you to make decisions for yourself. And so when it comes down to it, let's say for instance, you are looking at life and from a perspective of, well, I know that I need to make sure that if I'm talking about love, that I'm able to show it as an example. Yeah, that's a good takeaway. However, one thing is if you're talking about love, and love is what you feel that you need to make sure that you get to that next level of whatever it is that you need to get to, then it is important for you to make sure that when you do have that you're talking about it from a perspective of what it's going to take for you to feel good about a stance or a situation that you want to, I guess, feel most successful about, happy about, in the sense of like when we're talking and you're saying that you feel that it's certain things that you need to with what your comment was about the love scenario. I get what you're saying. However, when you talk about what you're saying, um, it's important that you also look at it from a perspective of how is it going to make you feel to have this scenario, like, say I'm trying not to give you what you might feel to, like I said, maybe it's a new car. Okay, so you're deciding you want a new car. When you decide to get this new car, you know, and you are doing all these things to manifest this new car, What does it feel like to have this new car? This is what I'm talking about. Is it a matter of you being able to have leather seats? You feel the leather seats, they feel so wonderful on your skin. The suspension, you know, different things of that nature. These are the things that I'm talking about. You're talking about different things that you want to bring and that you hope are going to be part of what makes you successful in getting your reaching your goal. If for some reason you're unable to attain these things, have you looked at whatever it is that's stopping you from that? Is what I'm saying. You know, are you being negative about things? Are you saying that you can't achieve these things because, you know, you've never been able to achieve these things? You haven't been successful achieving these things. You know, you haven't been the person that from yourself, because being down on yourself is one of the fastest ways to prevent you from making, you know, not getting where you want to be. Down to it, when we talk about, you know, you talk about being faced with, an accumulation of choices, and you think that the practice itself, so to love it perfectly balancing that what you need today and what you're need. I get that when you speak about, I am saying this about myself because maybe this is, or I'm saying this on the screen because maybe this helps someone else. But this is about how you feel. What is it that you feel you should do? What is it you feel you need to do? How can you find the things that you need to find to help you manifest the things that you want out of life? I mean, I get that we share our opinions and we want to share things with others because we want to help them also. But I think, like I said, that this particular session is mainly about things that, like I know what things that I want. And when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is, like I said, is I have my moment and I take the time to really clear my mind out. Meaning, yesterday um, was one of those days. I mean, literally, it was one of those days when I first woke up, and every other word was a curse word that came out of my mouth. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I having this moment? And so, in order for me to let that moment pass over and not be part of my day, I went into a positive momentum, I call it, space where I could actually think about happy things, think about things. And it's not just about happy thoughts. Um, I want to try and convey this message to you the best way I can. And I want you to understand it the best way that you can. But I guess I feel some discord a little bit in my audience because I know that some people are not ready a lot of times to receive some of the things that come out in the open. And I say that because, again, I am very reactive off of energies and positivity and things of that nature. And when I'm being positive, I love sharing that positivity with others. There are certain things that are distracting to me and certain things that happen in my day that make me feel distracted and maybe make it to where it's not as easy to be as articulate as I want to be and to share the things that I want to share with people. But again, I have to continue to self make to I guess self make myself, like they say, self made, and to self make myself is to continue to know and understand and believe based on feelings, the things that I feel, the way that I feel about a specific situation. I know that, let's take my podcast for instance. I got a message from someone this morning that said, "Hey, your Instagram has been hacked." And so I probably have maybe 5 or 6 different Instagram pages. And I first in my mind had to be like, how do I know this person telling me that, even though there's somebody that I know is not legit telling me from them, or are they telling me from a hacker, you know? So I said, okay, well, send me a screenshot of what you got. Let me see what it is that you received. And they were like, but I deleted it. I deleted it. So I was like, So immediately I went in and I took precautions for myself. I didn't broadcast it. I didn't go online and say, if you broke into my page and so on and so forth and such, because in my mind, I already know that if that's true and someone did that, that's their problem. It's not my problem. I'm gonna do what I need to do on my end to make sure that I protect myself, because there are people out there, and right now, people are unfortunately in bad places mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and they are physically, and they're doing the most. They're doing extra things to make sure that they can try and tear down what you have going on, you know? And so it's important for us to, you know, look at things on the path of least resistance. And when I say that, that's so profound to me, because taking a path, like I could have chosen to take the path to go on a rant, on a rave, to let somebody know, I know if you tried to hack my page, I know you did it. So I did this and I did that. You know, when I'm, possibly letting in a weakness, because not only have I weakened my spirit, but I've also weakened the fact that whatever I may have taken precaution wise can be then used against me for the hacker to find a way to hack even worse or even more or even better. So to prevent that from happening, and even like, let's say for instance, not that I feel the person that gave me the information meant any harm, but let's say for instance they meant me harm, and maybe they were fake, maybe they were a hacker, and they were saying that for me to divulge what I do to protect my page. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about energy and we talk about positivity and trying to be in a place and in a perspective that we can give positivity to other people, the important thing is that you have got to make sure that the information that you divulge is not information that you're giving so that someone can use it and plot on your weakness. That's the reason why I'm saying to you, it is imperative that we feel emotionally what we need so that we can use the feelings that we describe as things that we work toward and aspire to, and that they keep us in this happy place that we're always going to be in, so that we will not allow ourselves to have our spirit dampened and have, our emotional happy place dampened, and the feelings and emotions. Let's talk about that for a minute. Your emotions are what you express when you want to convey something about something. Um, my emotions are, I feel so, excited for you because you have won the race. My feelings are, I feel, and they're more internal, they're more um, in specific scenario. I don't know why this keeps going off the net. It's driving me nuts. And I think that's why I'm distracted, because I keep seeing my internet going in and out. But anyway, I think I'm trying to see if I have the Wi-Fi on. That's why, because I am actually using my Ethernet. So oh, there we go. My Ethernet is plugged in, my Ethernet cable, and I wanted to turn my Wi-Fi off, and they kept fighting against each other, and I still don't know if it's off or not. But anyway, with all that being said, it's more like, I am showing my emotions because I have empathy for you, or I feel happy for you, or I feel you know um, you know um, glad for you, or whatever. My feelings are that I want to make sure that when I articulate the things that I want to accomplish out of life, that I am sharing how those things make me feel when I'm in those places. If I'm in those places, how do I keep my head out of the way of my heart? The way that I keep my head out of the way of my heart is that I continue to describe how it feels for me to be in a place that's giving me the life into what it is that I aspire. You know, I um, love this podcast, and the reason I love this podcast because the moment that I thought about doing the podcast, I mean, I know I'm a talker. Everybody knows that I've been such a talker for years, and so you know, it wasn't even that made me want to do the podcast. What made me want to do the podcast was how I felt when I thought about it. I was so tickled. I was just so excited, so happy. I had these emotions that just took over me that made me feel like no matter what anyone says, they're never going to tear me down from feeling the way that I feel. Um, for instance, start with my logo where I'm going, hi, I'm doing that for me. I'm not doing that against anyone else. I'm not sticking my tongue out because I'm trying to be sexual. I'm not sticking my tongue out because I'm trying to be nasty, mean, or rude. When I feel myself say, hey, I feel very liberated. I feel excited. I feel accomplished in what I'm doing. And I feel that when I say, hey, it's a confidence that someone can't take away from me. It's a confidence that someone can't give to me. But how did that first come from that? How did it first come? I mean, it's something that's out there. I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, Chloe Kardashian, Cardi B, somebody started it. It didn't matter. Um, one of the things that I observed when I did that was how I felt when I did it. And it wasn't anything towards anybody else. Like right now, my mind, it is so high on, like, no, I ain't smoked nothing. I'm saying it's high on a vibe. This vibe that I have about Dina, who I am, where I'm going, what I'm getting. I mean, I could see it as light as clear as a light of day. And it's an amazing feeling because there used to be a time when I used to let people tear me down. Like I said, I would go on job assignments, and I even to this day, I can't explain why people didn't like me or whatever. I've always been a smiling person, a happy-go-lucky person. I have no idea. I used to care, but now I don't. And so the difference between then and now is that I don't need to go do that job ever again in life. It paid very good money, 50, 60, 80, sometimes $100 an hour, depending on the contract. And it's not that anybody wouldn't want that money or whatever. And it's not that I'm not thankful or blessed that I had that opportunity. But what I realized was that at the sake of me making the money every single time, I will let my head come back in place of my heart. And my head would be like, oh God, well, how you gonna pay this? Or how you gonna pay that? Or how you gonna pay this? And even today, those concerns come up. But what I know now is that based on how I bring things to me. People call it the law of attraction, the things that you attract to you, the energies, the positivity, different things of that nature. Based on what I bring to me now, I know nobody can take away People could say it's sad if they were to say things that were negative, and they can say whatever they want to say. I love them, and I wish them the best that they ever that they can imagine. And I wish them great success in their life and what they get to and have to accomplish. I don't wish no bad on nobody. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say it like that is because now I realize that at one point, me being me being nice and me being kind, and I will still go back out there and I'm like, okay, I can do it. I can do it again. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go on this consulting job and I'm gonna fly, to Hawaii or fly to Oklahoma or fly to Indiana and do this assignment and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability. And every intention that I had went in. Um, every every I had my connections going in and out. I don't know what's happening. I'm showing that it's weird. Hold on. Someone just said something about the connection, and I'm not sure what's going. Let me see. Hmm. Part of me thinks that it's fighting the Wi-Fi. I have it plugged in directly into my thing is happening is that it is my there it is Ethernet. Here it is. It's saying that my Ethernet is plugged in. Uh, it's saying that it's and that it's good. Mm, maybe it's very annoying when stuff like that happens. Let's see if that helps, guys. Keep me posted. Um, when I would go on these particular assignments, and people, I would be there, and next thing I know, somebody would come say, it's just not working out, and it always let me know that it was personal, but I always felt I would internalize what they would say as something I had done wrong. And I know that it wasn't anything that I had done wrong because when this would happen, I would say, well, what did I do? Is there something that I could do better? Uh, is there something that I can do better? What is it that I, have done or what can I do better or whatever? And they never had an answer. And um, I know now what I did not know then. And what I know now is, that there are people that are going to be against you. And it's unfortunate that they're going to be against you. People that you might think love you, people you might think care about you. You know what I'm saying? They might make up things about you and you don't even know. It's like watching a movie and you don't know who the person is till you get to the end because everything that you thought was not what happened, right? So with that being said, I just started looking at things from a different perspective and I started taking control of my own life, my own um, control of my own being and who I am, and just not even worrying about that. And started to say, you know what? I'm not doing that. And there's discord with me doing that job because I know that when I go on that job, I'm always going to have in the back of my mind that there's somebody that doesn't like me. I don't know if they don't like me, if they don't like the way I look, or if I have brown eyes, or, if I have red lips, or if I'm on the internet and I sing and or, if I'm, doing different things, I don't, it's no longer my concern, no longer my concern because those people have internal issues that they need to fix on their own, and it's very unfortunate that that happened that way. But I believe that if it didn't happen that way, then it wouldn't keep me aspiring to the things I am want and that I need. And I know that my calling is a bigger calling. It's to help people. It's to help you guys. It's to help other people that haven't even heard of me yet. And it's to be in the place that I am in, Dina Marie, to be able to love and feel, um, love and provide you with positive information, um, very transparent information, things that I've been through, so that you could too see that if it's something that you've been through or somebody else has been through, how it can help you. You know what I mean? And um and having that self-love, as Ikram said, it brings on self-respect. And that's so huge. It is huge to have that self-respect, because people go through different things. Like they say, them they don't people kick excuse me, the person, I can't even think of it, but I think it's people when they're down, they don't like to be alone, kind of thing. But the reason I think I can't really think of it is because the only thing I can think of right now is it's hard to keep a good woman slash man down. And so the reason is because of those negative things that I've pushed out of my mind. I now have positive things going on. And so because I have those positive things going on, those are the only things that I can remember. And it took months, and I remember exactly. I was in St. Louis, Missouri, on an assignment once. It was a lot of people there, and I never will forget that. That might have been 2.5 years ago, and that was when I started my journey of trying to find my the spiritual part of me that could help me feel better about myself. And it was a hell of a difficult journey. But in the course of that time, I had to learn my self-worth, my self-respect, and then all of a sudden, like a light bulb, halfway through the year last year, it clicked. And a very good friend of mine, he said to me, if you're satisfied in something, then you're not going to aspire to anything else. And he is someone who has made me pull myself up by the bootstraps and put my big girl pants on and go and get what I want. And I'm not there yet, but I'm not done. So, um, he is an awesome gentleman. Um, and I can only go by what I know. So the things that I know from him have made me want to be a better person, and that's a beautiful feeling. That's a beautiful feeling. So the reality of that is that he's right. You know, um, if I continue working on this job where I'm making $50 to $100 an hour, yeah, I'm making money, but it's not like I don't in my world. There's no ceiling. Um, I know that I will be a millionaire. I know what that feels like in my own space. My feelings of a millionaire, maybe billionaire, have made me feel security and safety, because I know in that safety, you know, we also can, um, we also are making sure that when we become secure, whether it's money or a relationship or a house or a car that makes you feel that security. For me, my success and abundance and riches and achievements and goals come from the feeling of me knowing my self worth. Self-worth, and it's a beautiful thing because nobody can take that. Nobody can take that away from me. I do not have weather, but let me try to see if I can put it back on the Wi-Fi. Okay. So now it's back on the Wi-Fi. And take the ether. Uh, I hate when stuff like that happens. There we go. So maybe let's see if that helps. I don't know what I'm doing or where I don't know. I may have to increase my um, speed because sometimes that happens too. But hopefully it won't let me go. There's also some resets going on my laptop. But with that being said, like I said, I feel so motivated to continue working on my podcast. And I don't feel bad that I'm not at the top of my game yet. I can only continue learning from the different self helps or DIYs out here that can help me to learn and progress better and help me to get better and better and better and better and better. Because each week to me is better and better and better. With the exception of the Wi-Fi thing going on right now, I don't know if that's me or if it's an area thing or what have you. Hopefully, it is acting a little bit better. Let me know in the comments. I don't know if some other people are having bad weather or not, but hopefully not. But moving back into self-worth, self-respect, the things that help me to stay out of my head and be closer to what I feel. I feel motivated by my vision of success. I see my success. I know that I am successful and I know that I will be more successful. Um, I feel that there are many, many opportunities that we are afforded in life, and we get those based on how much we um, not only take advantage of, but how much we continue to strive for. If you give up, then unfortunately you're going to be in a place where you're not going to have the opportunities that are presented to you for that much longer. And I say that because like people that have always said, if you sing that you could lose your voice because you don't use it. And I'm not saying that that's true or that's not true. I hope that hasn't happened to anyone. But what I can say is that I continue to make sure that all of the blessings that I'm being given that I take advantage of. And when I use those things to get me to that next level, again, I base it on how they make me feel. And then I focus on the positiveness of how they make me feel. And just like I'm saying, my success, you know, sometimes, there's a path that you're on, and you are on a path that may or may not be the path that's going to be your path to success. And that's okay. What you have to take into in those moments of not knowing where you're headed is you have to take in the accountability that I know there could be a bigger plan, but I'm going to take advantage of where I'm at right now. I'm going to be successful at what I'm doing right now. And even with a job, you know, it's interesting because if in order for me to progress in what I'm doing, I can't leave what I was doing in a hasty negative way. I have to leave in a way that's positive, that's got a positive vibe, positive energy, because that vibe is transferring into my next venture and my next venture, my next venture. And in other words, when I decided that I was no longer going to do the consulting work anymore, There was a myriad of issues that were happening. It was not making me feel good. And I was like, I have never in my life done anything to this woman, you know? But she would put me on a phone call. And when she would put me on a phone call, the other person, they weren't Zoom calls, they were speaker, like the speaker. She had called somebody else without me knowing that somebody else was on the phone, put it on speakerphone, and would say things that were like, uh, don't you roll your eyes at me. And I'm like, hmm? Cause you just see what I just did? I always do that. And I was like, roll my eyes. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I wouldn't roll my eyes at you. This is a professional setting. I'm aware of how to handle myself, and I apologize if you feel that I've done something to offend you. And it was constant things like this that people use to build up against you in a corporate environment to make sure that they get rid of you because you might know more than them, and they're threatened by that. And so when I came completely, because one thing about me is I'm gonna learn how to do it, and I'm gonna ask somebody to help me how to do it, and I'm gonna study it to perfection. You're not gonna even know if I did or I didn't or I do or I don't, because I'm gonna study it to perfection. And so sometimes working in the environment that I worked in, it was healthcare IT, but I would work with nurses, doctors, clinicians. And so a lot of the platforms that they were being introduced to, and we were training and building and whatever for them, um, you know, they had an opinion about it being needing to be a little bit more clinically heavy. And we, as technical people, were saying we don't teach clinical, we teach technology, we teach functionality rather. And so all I'm here to do is teach the functionality. I'm not here to do this, I'm not here to do that. And so, you know, for whatever reason, this person, couldn't get past whatever was going on, because um, they thought that I was trying somehow to compete with them. And I have no interest in being a nurse, nor did I have any interest of being a full time employee with that hospital. My job is to come and go. And so at that moment in time, I remember feeling like, okay, I'm going to get a call today. And I'm so glad. I'm just going to let them let me know whatever, and whatnot. Because you know what? You'll never get me to quit. You'll never get me to quit. If you don't want me here, let me know you don't want me here. And so I was driving in the LA traffic, got halfway home, and I think I told you this before, and I was never happier to receive a phone call in my life. But it was unfortunate because there are still people out here who don't want to be taught by somebody that looks like me. Someone who sounds like me, someone who talks like me, someone, whatever their issue is. But guess what? I feel sorry for them, and I don't have a care in the world where they're concerned. Because guess what? Marie is on her own grind, and I'm going to be successful in my own right. And I know this. And when, like, how you always say, yeah, I can't wait to show them. No, I don't. It's not that I don't care about you or anyone watching this. That's not it. It's that I don't care to prove anything or prove myself to anyone else anymore. Right now, I am working on achieving the feeling that I go to when I talk about my goals and my aspirations and my um, um, achievements that I know I will succeed. And so when I talk about being successful, and how it makes me feel secure in the woman that I am, and how it makes me feel happy about being the woman that I have become with self worth and self respect and love and kindness and all these wonderful things, I feel so happy and so motivated based on those feelings that I know I am bringing myself to in my success. Make sense? And it's just like Uber. I have always been so happy to be an Uber driver. I have driven for Uber for 6 years and had over 4,000 rides. I've always kept a 90 actually, I've never had 95, 96 and above percentage in stars. And I've always had 1 to 3 cancellation rate. Never have I ever had anything but above that. And so after COVID, there was a proposition that they passed here in California, and I want to say Prop 22 or something like that, which they passed all over. But California has a way of it being so exposed that I never even noticed it in any other state. Nobody ever talked about it like they do here, as far as it being a Proposition 8, a Proposition 10, a Proposition this. So I never really realized what a proposition was. And I mean, I knew it was political, but you know what I'm saying. So when they passed it, this basically prevented the cancellation of Uber, DoorDash, Postmates. It still allowed people to have these jobs. Ouch. I keep biting on it. See, that's one thing that can happen when you have nice, fluffy lips. You bite them all the time. Anyway, or because you talk a lot. But anyway, so they pass this proposition. Long story short, when I would Uber, I would make anywhere between $1,100 to $1,400 a week here in LA. And that would be working anywhere from 20 to 40 hours, maybe 50 hours a week, depends. I would just drive till I got tired, because it becomes addictive. Like you just keep going and keep going and keep going, because you are able to see how much money you're making. So as you're watching the money go up, you're just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So it's just constantly motivated. And I know money motivates me, and I don't have a problem with that. But where it went awry was Uber, and I'm putting y'all out there because this is it like I go to a place of being hurt first. Maybe because I'm a Pisces. I don't know. But at the same time, I can handle mine. But this is where emotion comes in instead of feelings. My emotions will get take over for a minute, because I would be hurt that they start fucking with me. And when I say that, what I mean is I was making all this money, and I would go to the airport, and because I was platinum, damn near diamond, I could be riding by the airport and not necessarily sitting in the lot where they make other people sit that are below that status. And I would get the ping before I even parked. So I could just turn back around and go pick the person up at the airport. And when you go to the airport, the surges are major. I mean, I can make 20 to up upwards hundreds of dollars taking somebody home. So anywho, I get, all this was happening. Well, one particular night it was raining. I was in LA, and East LA. A lot of people say East LA is coming up, but a lot of people say don't live here. But anyway, hey, whatever. You do what you do. Hey, hold it down for your rep for your city, rep for your hood. But I was in East LA, and I've never thank God, knock on wood or whatever you knock on, and it isn't even about the wood. I've never felt uncomfortable in my Uber. I have my vices up in the front seat, and they can attack if they want to, but I also keep cameras in my car. So a lot of people they don't know where those cameras are going. Like, so, I'm protected. But anyway, regardless, and even protected on a higher level, regardless, I'm out. I go to this spot. This girl sends a text, and she said, "Hi." Her name was Sarah on the thing or whatever. I'm just making that name up. Sarah, please do not take offense. This is in no way to say that all Sarahs are this way. This is just a name I'm using for this illustration. Okay. So, hi, my name is Sarah, and you're picking my boyfriend up, and he's going to be on the corner, and he's going to be over there in the bus stop or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I roll up to the dot, because I'm good about my GPS, and I know where the dot is. The dot said I'm here, but I don't see your boyfriend, Sarah. Where's he at? I hit Sarah up. Sarah didn't answer. I locked all the doors, okay, and rolled up all the windows. And I sat there for a little while, good minute. Now, mind, during COVID, to keep things afloat, I used to work for Amazon also, but as an Uber driver, Amazon, all of these people use GPS now. Amazon, with Air Force in the high heels, in, had no reception, couldn't make a phone call, couldn't change my GPS. But Amazon was like, "Up, I got you." Now I'm gonna redirect you. Now let me send this to your phone, and it's gonna resend you around because it would in Hollywood Hills. These houses are huge, and the canyons are huge and swirly and windy. I think it's gorgeous. I love driving there. Anyway, so Amazon will reshoot me a signal, and next thing you know, it was redirecting me from where I was at to go around the canyon to come to the front of the house because for some reason GPS would always take you to the back of the house, and when you get to the back of the house, you see all these big, electricity uh, things, where you turn the lights on and off or whatever. And I'm like, how can where am I supposed to put the package at? And so then it was like, oh, you're at the back of the house. Uber also has the capacity at some point to know where you are. So when you roll up to a spot, excuse me, say you're the rider and the driver says that they came, Uber can tell if they came and waited for you. So don't let them tell you that they can't because they can. And you just have to be vigilant in getting your money back if an Uber driver cancels on you for no reason. So my thing, I wasn't canceling because the now you only get $3 for a cancellation fee. You used to get 5 back in the day, but I ain't trying to get the 3 or the 5 if I'm getting 20 to take your ass. So I'm waiting as long as I can wait so I can get the $20 plus hopefully a tip. So I'm sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. It's dark, it's raining or whatever. And I get this eerie feeling. And something said, oh, no, you don't. And so again, everything was locked. I didn't even care. I wasn't waiting. I don't know her boyfriend. And when you call the Uber for your significant other, your friend, your whatever, you could put their name in the app so that when they get ready to get in the car, I would crack my window this much. And I said, what's your name? And if the girlfriend put the name John in the app, then he could say John. I'm like, okay, so I let him in. But if you can't tell me who you are, I'm sorry, but I'm unable to take you at this moment. But you could call another Uber. So then I cancel that. And when I cancel that, because I am fearing for my safety, Uber starts saying that they can't don't have any control over the cancellation numbers. And so the numbers start going up in cancellation. And then it affects my status and it affects my ratings. And next thing you know, I'm not making the money that I was making. So I decided to park my damn Uber out there in stall 57 over at my complex because I get covered parking. I don't have to park on the street because Lord Jesus. And I ain't been out since before Christmas and don't plan on it. But what I can say to you is positive things happen because of positive things that I continue to focus on. And I know that I am going to, my success is coming very, very soon. And not that I'm trying to show everybody, but it will be shared eventually. And hopefully positive things from everyone will be the only thing that I hear. But if you have people that don't like you, well, guess what? I don't care anymore. um, I love you all. I respect you all. I'm here for you in any way that I can be. But at the same time, I'm not going out of my way to be something for someone who maybe behind my back isn't that for me, but I know that I am legit, legit, legit. Okay. And so, anywho, with all that being said, I am tired of being effed by the man. And it might not be the man. I don't even know who the Uber person is. But what I do know is that you're mad, or maybe you're not mad, but you want to try to regulate how much money I make, and I'm using my car. And keep in mind, when I did buy my car as a lease, so you only get a certain amount of miles, and I done went over them, so it's parked until next year. No, not really, but it is. I'm gonna buy it, so it won't matter. But it's not the point. The point is that people take advantage of you in this world. And if you do not stick up for yourself, who the hell's gonna stick up for you? Are you serious? Are you going to sit there and you're going to sit there and you're going to the thing of it is, you know how people used to say, you're only hurting yourself. You're not hurting me. You're not hurting her. You're not hurting him. You're hurting yourself. That's freaking true. When you get mad and you start doing that nasty negative shit, because some people believe they're going to do negative nasty stuff because other people that do negative nasty stuff seem like they ahead. You really don't know what's going on in that person's house. You really don't know if that person's succeeding or not. You only think that they are because of what they show you. But who cares? What they do ain't you. What they do ain't for you, and what you do ain't for them. So what happens is you have got to find how it feels for you to be successful. And for me, being successful is a very secure place. It's a very valid place. It's a very happy place. It is a very accomplished place. I feel very, um, motivated to keep going based on. And I'm so sorry. I hate that this makes that my allergies is something over here. I don't know what it is. And I'm not digging in my nose. I'm trying to prevent my nose from running. And I put the medicine in there. One thing is I have a thing going on my neck. They want me to have surgery, but they say if they go through my neck, I might not be able to talk or sing. Shoot, I can't do it. I can't do it. So something in my neck is causing my ears, nose, and throat to drain, and it's from a wreck that I had, and I have no cartilage in any part of my neck. So on my right side, I have loss of use in my hand. Like I can't take my right hand, which I'm right-handed, and fasten my bra, do my hair. I have to use my left hand. So anyway, prayers. It'll be fine. I'm good. I feel happy that I will feel healthy. But seriously, you guys, I mean, I have never been more serious in my life. When things are being fulfilled, they're being fulfilled based on the feeling that you have that are helping you to continue feeling positive and having that positive energy. Positive energies don't come just from your words. And I get so annoyed because some people overuse it. Like, they don't come in here with that negative energy, but you over there cussing out somebody too. You're over there, or that person's over there doing certain things and being negative too. So just like them accusing someone else of negative energy, um, that negative energy is coming from the person that's saying it. Because when you start things around and manifesting positivity, you don't do it with words. You do it with action. You do things based on how you want things for how you do. It's not even for you and so on and so forth. But that's not true. That's not true. The way that these things happen are based on how you are manifesting it, but through the feelings that you articulate to yourself about how it feels to be in that place of success. And just like I said, when I speak of my feelings about my success on my podcast, I love being here every week to talk to you. And Ikram is a devout person and friend. And I met him in my Uber, and I love him like family because he is so positive and he makes me look forward to being here every Thursday if it's just me and him. And if it's just me and somebody else, or if even if y'all come on and like and subscribe after hours because maybe you had to work, I don't know what your situation is, but I hope that you equally look forward to talking to, listening to me share with you, and hoping that it finds something deep inside of you that resonates with you and helps you to focus. Dina Marie said something different today that made me really think about how I see myself doing such and such and such and such. And a lot of people would always say, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself doing this? Do you see yourself doing that? That's how one way that people have articulated success and manifestation is how you see yourself. Now, I guess you can say it that way if you want, but I think what I want to say is very profound when you're manifesting things is that words are very, very, very sharp. That means that they can cut you, I mean, cut you, or they can help you in a way that you don't even realize. So when you speak your word, you speak your truth. That's why it's imperative that when you speak about what it is that makes you successful, that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel that you are succeeding and that you will succeed and you will do these things and you will accomplish things. That's the reason why you have to speak them in a way of feelings. How do they make you feel? If you had $1 million, how would it make you feel? It's not just that it's going to make you be happy because you're rich. Yay. You know, if you won $1 million today and you don't know how it would make you feel, this is teaching yourself, and this is the purpose of the path of least resistance. Learning how make yourself feel your success before you get your success. The reason it's imperative is because it is a leader, a guide, and a journey to the actual success. When you talk about how it feels, it allows you to go into that place, describe with those adjectives, but to also feel it. Feel what it is that's making you know that when you are given and when you have reached this successful moment in time, that you will be able to accomplish all the things it takes to get to the next level and the next level and the next level. Just because you become rich and famous, or because you become get this um, top paying job or this beautiful car, you're not going to stop asking or wanting things. So you have to learn how to basically how to achieve this level of success through the journeys that you're taking. And the journey is you teaching yourself how it feels to basically have what you want, what path of least resistance you're going to take to alleviate taking those negative moments that create a negative hiccup in your day, that make you have to go back to sleep so you can reset yourself because somebody made you, they pooped in your cornflakes. These are this is a path, just like those, you know, concrete pavers that you step on one, you got to step on one to get to the next one and the next one and the next one until you finally at the door. Same concept. You have to step on each one of these actual um, places in your journey to get to your success. And if you don't teach yourself how to do that, once you get to that level of success, should you reach it, then you're going to have a moment of lapse where your head can come in and take over your heart. And you don't want your head to take over your heart and what you feel of what's getting you there. This path that's getting you there is a path that is strictly driven from what you're feeling. And that's coming from your heart, not your head. Your head is speaking with words. Your head is speaking with, bull, 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 trying to bull your way in. You can't do it. You can't do it that way. You talking about it doesn't make it so. That's the reason why you have to feel your way through it. And the reason feelings are so hard is because they make us vulnerable. They make us feel like we're weak. They make us feel like we're shut down or whatever, you know? And something that's tied to this is in relationships. You go in a relationship, you get it, you fall in love with somebody, you get hurt by that person, and then you never set your place, put yourself back out there again. Even myself, I'm guilty of this. I'm complacent. I want to be in a relationship that, there's someone I have, that I've thought about, and um how I feel and how it would be or what have you. But at the same time, it's not something that I want to talk my way through. It's something that I want to allow myself to realize that I am going to feel my way through, you know? And I feel like that person, he knows who he is and he feels what he feels. If it's real, it's real. If it's not, it's not. I know that those things are supposed to be, it won't be for me. But at the same time, there's sometimes are things that may not be for you, but if you're doing the things that you need to do to manifest them properly by explaining how it feels and being happy in that moment, that happy momentum can raise that negative vibration to your positive vibration so that you meet in the middle. And with that being said, I don't believe in doing any voodoo, hoodoo, whatever like that. This is about what this is about um, having your success based on the feelings that have gotten you to a place that make you feel more accomplished than you could ever imagine in your life. And in order for you to get there, you're going to have to go to this vulnerable place and say, okay, and it's hard. You know why it's hard? Because we're so used to criticizing ourselves, or we're so used to taking the criticism. People tell you you ain't shit, you believe you're not shit. But that's your journey that you have. You can't stay there if you want to be successful in no matter what you do. You cannot stay there if you want to be successful in your journey. And Ikram said that he has a question and he'd like to ask if is it fair to separate our life into categories? And so I guess if we separate ourselves into categories, it's not that you can't separate yourself into a category. What the issue is no matter what category you're in, you have to make sure that you are saying, I'm going to be successful or I'm going to get to this category or this area because it's going, when I'm there, it's going to make me feel happy. It's going to make me feel accomplished. It's going to make me feel whatever, whatever, whatever. So each area that you're talking about, Ikram, or each portion of your success that you want to obtain, you have to get to a place that you spend time expressing what it's going to feel like if you were there. Let's say you were already there. How do you think you would feel? What kinds of feelings would you have? What kinds of things would be happening in that moment of or that space, that place, that time? What kinds of things will be happening? So it's not that you can't categorize them and it's not like you can't, say what you would do or how you would do it. It would be more like you needing to explain to you in order to attain and achieve those things how it would feel for you if you were already there. And what happens in the process of you expressing those things is that it puts your mental and it puts you emotionally, it almost takes your whole headspace and puts you in that moment. And it's preparing you for the success of that moment. Because sometimes we can, let's say you won $1 billion. There's not one of you that wouldn't be overwhelmed. You wouldn't even know what to do with it because we always have, now there are money people out there, and the money people, that's what they do. They focus on making money, and money is nothing to them. They have conversations, and everything is based on money. ROIs, return on investments. What if you do, if you build a house and you're buying a $5,000 sink, what's the value of that $5,000 sink? Oh, it's going to help you sell your house for $100,000 more. Well, then buy the $5,000 sink. So people are basically saying that they um, are uh, people with money are basically saying that it's based on what is the outcome of you spending that money. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about should I spend $10,000 to go to real estate school so that I can do real estate investing. So the outcome, the answer for somebody that is a money person, they're going to say, okay, so if you pay $800 to go to this real estate school and they're teaching you how to do this and how to do that, what's the benefit? The benefit is that if I spend $800, they're going to show me how I'm going to make, $20,000 extra per house I sell or per house I renovate. If that's the case, then yeah, spend the $800. If you spend the $800 and the $800 is not going to do one thing for you but line the pockets of the person you giving it to, then it's not worth it. So it's all these different things that you have to take into account. And there are so many things, like there's so much. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to my email this week, and one place was like, oh yeah, you can have this analyst job. You can work from home. And I have an IT degree. So when I think of an analyst, I'm thinking of help desk analyst. I'm helping somebody with their computer. I'm doing something like that. Or I'm doing it on a consulting basis or piece by piece. They're just calling me up for a little chat and they just say, okay, great. And boom, cha-ching, $50 was deposited into my account, which I do. I do all kinds of things. Um, but here's the thing. Those are not my end all be alls. Those are things, they're like a means to an end. They're helping me get to where I need to go. But I'm using my intelligence to do that. And I'm not lining anybody else's pockets while I do that. If I need to make a little bit of cheddar, then I'm going to make that on my own. But I'm also going to benefit um, myself because then I can keep up with my podcast. You know, but I was saying there's not very many. There's all week this week I've been getting all these emails, and one email comes to me and it says, "Yes," and it's very The website was professional. Everything looked like it was state of the art. Coming from you know uh, Bank of America's career site or Wells Fargo career site, and they have all these business people lined up, younger and older, and they're all standing with their hands crossed, and they're all like, in a single file line or whatever, or like staggered. And it's talking about this job. And long story short, they're saying you can work from home, you can make $100,000 this month, and da 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 da. And it's giving out so sales and all of this and all that. But then listen to this. And this goes to the point of me saying people trying to line their pockets crookedly. That's why you have to be careful. And you have to think about what you want and aspire to that. Go for it. You can do it. You can have whatever you want in this world. They say the way you do this Bitcom and real estate with the Bitcom and stuff. I understand it. I get it, but then I don't understand it and I don't get it. But they're saying, okay, in order for you to have this job, this is what we need you to set up before you start work. You need to go open a bank account with one of the banks listed on the list. And then basically you're going to be transferring Bitcoin in and out of your bank. That sounds like money laundering all day long to me. The second job, um, we're making you an administrative assistant, and what you're going to be doing is we need you to send packages out for us on a daily basis, and you're going to make $25 to $30 per package. So they send you these packages to your house, and you have to print out a new label, stick it on the box, and resend it. Okay, fraud. That is mail fraud. What's happening is people are using illegal credit cards, are using credit cards, buying illegal shit, and having it shipped to you so you can resend it to Betty, instead of it coming straight from QVC to Betty's house. It's coming from QVC to your house, and then you rewrapping it and sending it to Betty's ass, who stole the damn credit card in the first place. And it's so interesting because it's like, I think when you get older, people start thinking that because of your age, that they can get you to fall for the okey doke. But I'm not playing that. You're not getting me up to open no bank account for your ass. I'm not transferring no Bitcoin, no com, no bits, uh kibbles and bits, nothing. I'm not transferring anything from my account to your account. Now I will tell you that I invested $5 in Bitcoin on Cash and I invested $20 in stock on Walmart. Guess what is going up? Walmart stock. The Bitcoin keeps going down. It done went from $5 to $1.83 per Bitcoin. And so, with all that being said, my whole point is things come and things go. People come and they go. But one thing's for true, two things for certain is that you are there for you. And if you can't learn how to be there for you, and if you can't learn what you need to do for you, then who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? When you continue to harp on negative things, things that you can, everything happens to me, I don't have this, I don't have, words are they're crucial, two-edged sword they are, and they will cut you. And so basically, if you're sitting there saying that you're not going to succeed, guess what? You're not going to succeed. And even with what Ikram said, he was like, if you separate the categories like that question that was on the screen so that you can talk about the accomplishment, I mean, it's fine. You have to do what you have to do. One of the things I can share with you though is what I'm saying though is no that you theoretically we can focus on many things at once. We could be entrepreneurs and we could be moguls and we could do all these different things and be able to have things. I have several things I'm working on, at least 7 or 8. And when it's so funny to me when people say, "Oh God, Dina, what you working on now?" You don't have to worry about what I'm working on. And I don't mean that in a shitty way. I'm saying that like this: I know I'm going to succeed, and being a successful person means that you don't give up and you don't stop. But I also know that in order for me to be successful and for me to do what I need to do, I need to understand how it feels. And because I need to understand how it feels, it's imperative for me to focus on that on a daily basis so that I understand that my success is going to come from me understanding how it felt 5 months ago to be in the position I'm now in 5 months later. And it is an amazing experience to be able to share different things with you. And I love that you're receptive, and each week we get more and more participation. But at the same time, hey, I can only respect you for not wanting to just do whatever if you don't want to do it. I mean, I can't make you do whatever you want to do. I can't. There's no way. There's no way. You know what I mean? And but what I do know is that we get there by how hard we're willing to accomplish things on our own. You know, one thing is that you are the actual person that takes you on your own journey. Um, there have been many times when you hear that the saying, divided we stand, united we stand, divided we fall. But at the same time, sometimes you get to the finish line and the only one there is you. And nobody said that you had to come with others. You didn't come with others. You didn't. You have to succeed based on what you know you can do for yourself and how you know you're going to feel. And only you can describe that. I can't describe to you how it's going to feel. You know, and if we all, as Ikram said, work to help each other, we can be an encouragement here through this channel and on this podcast. We can continue to motivate each other every Thursday. Every Thursday, we continue to motivate each other. At the same time, there are scenarios where you're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet. And that's what I hope to help you do is accomplish this journey so that you are able to understand what it takes to make you that better woman, that more successful man, the person that you need to be to get where you need to go. And if you don't remember anything else, remember, I'm healing me, you heal you, and we'll heal each other. And I love you guys for joining in. I hope that I was able to lend something to you during this podcast. This has been a very heartfelt podcast for me because this is a journey, part of my journey that I'm on right now. And I just wanted to be able to share it with you. And I hope that as the weeks come, that more things become a topic that you all are able to discuss and share with the comments. I hope that you like and subscribe so that you can see each week the notifications come to in on YouTube. There's when the notification comes, the little bell will have a little red dot by it. You click on the little red bell, and it will open up the notifications that will direct you to my podcast. There's usually a clock counting down. Sometimes I post it on Instagram. For those of you that have Instagram and would like to follow me on Instagram, I am one Dina Marie on Instagram and Dina Webster on Facebook. So I look forward to seeing you guys again next Thursday. And for those of you who are not here live, but are maybe listening to the podcast recording, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. And please, you know, keep me in the loop. Let me know what your thoughts are. Communicate with me on the chats and on the comments. And please like and subscribe. I mean, I can't beg you to help me get where I'm going because I already know how it feels to be there, and I know it's going to happen. And I only hope you're with me on that journey. So thank you again and again. Let's keep healing each other. Bye. I'm gonna take you out with my song, "Good Day." I love this song, and I wrote this song because even if you're not rich, every day can be a good day. Love you guys. Bye.
Be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. Just give it some time, it will turn around. It will. 10 toes on the ground is what it takes to turn your life around. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. One time, for all the hustlers from the east to the west side, putting in work, hitting overtime, keeping things straight when they're out of line. Now go impact yourself. Not everyone reaches for the higher self. Trust me, just trust yourself. There's no greater enemy than when you doubt yourself. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. Just give it some time, it will turn around. It will. 10 toes on the ground is what it takes to turn your life around. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. I may not be rich, but my rent's paid. $1 in a dream goes a long way. For every bad day, there's a good day. For every bad day, there's a good day. One time, for all the hustlers from the east to the west side. Putting in work, hitting overtime. Keeping things straight when they're out of line.